Hey everybody, welcome back.
At Christmas, my mom pulled the chair away from my 8-year-old and said, "That seat's not for you." He hit the floor. The room froze. I helped him up, looked at my mother and said, "We're done funding you." Her wine glass slipped. And then I never thought I'd become the kind of person who'd walk away from their own mother on Christmas Day. But let me tell you what happened and you tell me if you would have done the same thing. My name is Rachel and for 3 years I'd been writing checks to keep my mother's life afloat. Her mortgage, her car payments, even her wine subscription. Yes, you heard that right. My husband Mark and I covered it all because, well, she's my mom. Family takes care of family, right? That's what I kept telling myself every time our own savings account got a little thinner. But here's the thing nobody tells you about financially supporting a parent. Somewhere along the way, gratitude turns into entitlement. And on December 25, 2023, I learned exactly what that looked like. We arrived at Mom's house that afternoon. Me, Mark, and our son Dylan, who just turned 8 in November. Dylan was wearing his new Christmas sweater, the one with the reindeer that he'd picked out himself, so proud. He'd been talking about Christmas dinner at Grandma's house for weeks. He loved her pot roast, loved the way she'd let him help set the table. Or at least he used to. The house smelled like pine and cinnamon when we walked in. Mom's decorations were everywhere. The expensive ones I'd helped pay for last year. Crystal snowflakes, designer garland, those fancy candles that cost $40 each. She kissed my cheek, told Dylan he'd grown, and accepted the gifts we'd brought without much more than a glance. My sister Jennifer was already there with her husband Paul. No kids, she'd made it very clear over the years that motherhood wasn't her thing. Mom had always been weird about that, like Jennifer was somehow more sophisticated for her choice. Don't get me wrong, I respected Jen's decision completely. But Mom's attitude about it? That had always stung a little. Dinner was ready around 6. The dining room table looked like something out of a magazine. Mom had really outdone herself. White tablecloth, gold chargers, the whole 9 yards. All bought with money that could have gone into Dylan's college fund, but I digress. We all started moving toward the table and Dylan ran ahead like kids do, excited to sit down. There were 6 chairs around the table and he headed straight for the one he always sat in, right next to where I usually sat. That's when it happened. My mother stepped forward, put her hand on the back of that chair, and pulled it away just as Dylan was about to sit down. "That seat's not for you," she said. Just like that. Casual. Pulled. Dylan hit the floor hard. The sound of his body hitting the hardwood, I can still hear it. He let out this confused little yelp, more surprised than hurt, but I saw his eyes immediately start to well up. Not from pain. From humiliation. The room froze. Mark moved first, but I was right there with him. We both knelt down, helping Dylan up. His new sweater had scuff marks on the elbows. His face was red, tears threatening to spill over, but he was trying so hard to be brave. My 8-year-old baby was trying not to cry in front of everyone because his grandmother had just humiliated him. "Why did Grandma do that?" he whispered to me, and I swear to God, my heart shattered into 1,000 pieces. I looked up at my mother. She was already positioning the chair properly, smoothing down her blouse like nothing had happened. Like she hadn't just deliberately tripped my child. "Mom," I said, my voice shaking. "What the hell was that?" She didn't even look at me. "Jennifer and Paul are sitting there. I've rearranged the seating." "You couldn't just tell him that? You had to pull the chair away." He finally met my eyes and you know what I saw there? Nothing. No remorse. No apology. Just irritation that I was making a scene. "He'll be fine, Rachel. Don't be so dramatic. Children need to learn not to assume." Dramatic. She called me dramatic because I was upset that she deliberately made my son fall. Do you think I was overreacting? Because in that moment, standing in that dining room with my son's tears on my shoulder and my mother's cold stare on my face, something inside me snapped. I thought about every check I'd written. Every sacrifice Mark and I had made. The vacation we'd canceled last summer because Mom needed a new air conditioning unit. The fact that we were driving a 10-year-old car while she had a 2-year-old sedan in her driveway. Mark had Dylan in his arms now, rubbing his back. My husband looked at me and I could see it in his eyes. He was waiting for my call. Whatever I decided, he'd back me up. He always did. I stood up slowly, brushed off my knees, and said very clearly so everyone could hear, "We're done funding you." My mother's face went white. The wine glass in her hand, the expensive Pinot Noir we'd brought as a gift, slipped. It didn't fall, but it came close and she had to catch it with both hands. "Excuse me." Her voice was sharp now. "You heard me. We're done. No more mortgage payments. No more car insurance. No more credit card bills. As of right now, you're financially on your own." Jennifer started to say something, but I held up my hand. Not to her. "I wasn't done with Mom yet. For 3 years, Mom. 3 years we've kept you afloat. We've gone without so you could have everything you wanted. And you just humiliated my son. For what? To what? Put him in his place. To show Jennifer and Paul that they're more important than Dylan? More important than us. Rachel, you're being ridiculous. I'm being ridiculous? You pulled a chair out from under an 8-year-old child. The silence that followed was deafening. I could hear the clock ticking in the hallway. Could hear Dylan's muffled sniffles against Mark's shoulder. My mother set her wine glass down very carefully on the sideboard. When she spoke, her voice was different. Harder. After everything I've done for you. I raised you, Rachel. Fed you, clothed you, gave you a home. And this is how you repay me? By cutting me off over a simple misunderstanding. A simple misunderstanding. That's what she called it. I felt Mark's hand on my lower back. Supportive. Steady. He'd always been my rock, but especially in moments like this. Come on, Rachel, Jennifer finally spoke up. Maybe you're overreacting just a little bit? I mean, Dylan's fine. Kids fall down all the time. And there was my sister siding with Mom. Of course she was. He always did. I looked at her, really looked at her, and saw something I'd been ignoring for years. Jennifer had always been Mom's favorite. Always. And I'd spent my entire adult life trying to buy my way into that same position. Trying to prove I was just as worthy of Mom's love and approval. What a fool I'd been. Dylan, I said quietly, get your coat, sweetie. We're leaving. Rachel, and if you walk out that door, Mom started. I turned back to her. You'll what? Cut me out of your life. Mom, you've had me cut out for years. I've just been too busy paying your bills to notice. The look on her face, shock, anger, and maybe just a tiny flicker of something that might have been fear, is something I'll never forget. But what I did next, that's the part that really changed everything. That's the moment I stopped being the daughter who accepted scraps of affection in exchange for money, and became someone my son could actually be proud of. What do you think I did? Would you have left? Would you have stayed and fought? Because I'll tell you what happened in the next few minutes set off a chain of events that nobody, not me, not Mom, not Jennifer, saw coming. And it all started with a single phone call I made right there, standing in my mother's dining room, while she watched with that wine glass clutched in her perfectly manicured hands. So there I was, phone already in my hand, and everyone staring at me like I've lost my mind. Maybe I had. Maybe 3 years of swallowing my pride had finally broken something in me. I pulled up my banking app right there. Right in front of everyone. What are you doing? Mom's voice had this edge to it now. Nervous. I'm canceling the automatic transfer that hits your account every month, I said, fingers moving across the screen. The one for $1,500. The one that covers your mortgage. Her face went from pale to gray. Rachel, you can't. Oh, but I can. Watch me. I hit confirm. There. Done. Merry Christmas. Mark had moved Dylan toward the hallway, getting his coat, but my son was watching everything with these wide eyes. Learning, I realized. He was learning what it looked like when someone finally stood up for themselves. Jennifer stepped forward. Okay, Rachel, you've made your point. Can we all just calm down and... No, Jen. We can't. I turned to her. Do you know how much money Mark and I have given Mom in the last 3 years? $54,000. $54,000 while you've contributed exactly zero. But somehow Dylan doesn't get to sit at the table. Paul looked like he wanted to disappear into the wallpaper. Good. Mom finally found her voice. How dare you throw money in my face like some kind of... Like what, Mom? Like leverage? Because that's what it was, wasn't it? That's when Mom made her mistake. She tried to change tactics, her voice going soft and wounded. Rachel, honey, I think you're under a lot of stress. Why don't we all sit down, have dinner, and talk about this calmly? I looked at Dylan, still clutched in Mark's arms, his face buried in his dad's shoulder. You know what the worst part is? I said quietly. It's not even the money. It's that you don't think you did anything wrong. You pulled a chair out from under my 8-year-old child and you think I'm the one overreacting. He barely fell. He hit the ground, Mom. And you know what? If you just apologized. If you just said, I'm sorry, Dylan, we wouldn't be here right now. But you couldn't even do that, could you? Mom's jaw tightened. Fine. You want an apology? I'm sorry your son is so sensitive that a little tumble. Stop. Mark's voice cut through the room like a blade. Don't finish that sentence. We're leaving. He started toward the door with Dylan and I moved to follow, but then Mom said something that made my blood run cold. You'll regret this, Rachel. When I lose this house, when I'm on the street, you'll have to live with that. Your son will know you abandoned your own mother. I stopped. Turned around slowly. And do you know what I saw in her eyes? Not fear. Not remorse. Calculation. He was trying to manipulate me one last time. That's when I did something completely unexpected. I laughed. A real one. Because suddenly, everything became crystal clear. You know what, Mom? You're absolutely right. Dylan will know I made a choice today. I walked back toward her. He'll know that I chose him over someone who treats him like he's less important. And he'll know that when someone disrespects him, we don't just accept it because family is family. I pulled out my phone again. But here's what you don't know. I'm calling Aunt Linda. The room went dead silent. Aunt Linda. My dad's sister. The one who hadn't spoken to my mother in 15 years. The one who'd reached out to me last spring. The one who'd been managing Dad's trust. The trust Mom never got access to. You wouldn't, Mom whispered. Oh, I absolutely would. The phone was already ringing. Hey, Aunt Linda. Yeah, Merry Christmas. Listen, I'm at Mom's house and we've had a situation. I need to ask you something about Dad's trust. The look on my mother's face was pure panic. Because here's what nobody except me knew. Dad had left me money in a trust that would mature next year. A trust Mom had been counting on me to share with her. Do you think I was going too far? Because what happened next changed everything. I turned on speakerphone. Aunt Linda's voice came through clear and warm. Rachel, honey, what's going on? I need you to explain Dad's trust stipulations. The part about financial responsibility and family obligations. Mom's wine glass hit the floor this time. Really hit it. Red wine splashed across her white carpet. Of course, dear, Aunt Linda said. Your father set up that trust to mature when you turn 35 next November. But there's a clause. If you're financially supporting your mother without reciprocal family respect and care, his exact words, you have the right to redirect those funds to your own family's security instead. Jennifer gasped. What trust? How much? With growth over the years? Approximately $275,000. The silence that followed was beautiful. Mom, I said softly. That's what you've been waiting for, isn't it? That's why you've let me pay for everything. You thought when that trust matured I'd just hand it all over to you. She couldn't even speak. But Dad knew you. He knew exactly who you were. That's why he put that clause in there. He was protecting his grandchildren from you. Your father was a fool, Mom finally spat out, and there it was. The real her. No, I said quietly. He was the smartest man I ever knew. Mark had come back into the room, Dylan watching now, listening. My boy was learning what strength looked like. Aunt Linda, I'm going to need those papers drawn up. The ones about redirecting the trust. I'll have them ready by next week, sweetheart. And Rachel, I'm proud of you. Those words hit harder than anything Mom could have said. I hung up and looked at my mother one last time. This isn't about revenge, Mom. This is about teaching my son that he matters. That family doesn't mean accepting abuse. I started toward the door, then paused. Oh, and Mom? The pot roast's burning. The smell hit everyone at once. Jennifer rushed toward the kitchen, and in that chaos we left. Dylan was quiet for about 5 minutes in the car. Then in this small voice, Mom? Are we really never going to see Grandma again? And what I told him, what happened over the next few days, that's when this story gets really good. Because my mother? She wasn't done fighting. But neither was I. And I had something she didn't expect. Can you guess who called me the very next morning? Someone who knew all of Mom's secrets. Someone who'd been waiting years for this exact moment. What do you think happened next? The call came at 7 in the morning on December 26th. I was still in bed replaying everything from yesterday. My phone buzzed. Unknown number. Rachel, it's your Aunt Linda. I sat up straight. Aunt Linda, hi. I wasn't expecting to hear from you so soon. Honey, there's something you need to know. Something I should have told you years ago. She took a deep breath. Your father didn't just leave you that trust because he was being cautious. Rachel, your mother did the same thing to me. My heart started pounding. What do you mean? After your grandfather died, your mother convinced me to help her financially. I gave her nearly $30,000 over 2 years. Then one day at a family gathering, she humiliated my daughter Emily in front of everyone. Called her too plain to ever find a husband. Emily was 16. I felt sick. Aunt Linda, I had no idea. Your father saw it. That trust wasn't just about money, Rachel. It was about giving you the power to walk away when you needed to. She paused. Now here's the thing. Your mother owns that house outright. Paid off in 2019 with money from your grandmother's estate. The room started spinning. What? But the mortgage payments. Every payment you made went straight into her personal account. She's been lying to you, Rachel. $54,000. Do you understand what I'm saying? My mother had been committing fraud against her own daughter. Mark appeared in the doorway. I told him everything. His expression went cold and determined. We're going over there, he said. Today. Before she tells everyone you abandoned her. He was right. 2 hours later we knocked on Mom's door. Jennifer answered, looking terrible, eyes red, hair a mess. Rachel. I don't think this is a good time. Make it a good time. We need to talk to Mom. She's not doing well. Yesterday really upset her. Move, Mark said quietly. And Jennifer stepped aside. Mom was in the living room still in her robe. She looked up when we entered, fear flashing in her eyes before being replaced by wounded dignity. Rachel, I suppose you've come to twist the knife a little more. No, Mom. I've come to give you a chance to tell the truth. I pulled out my phone, opened my banking records. The house is paid off. Has been since 2019. Every mortgage payment I've made for 18 months went into your personal account. You lied to me. Jennifer's head whipped toward Mom. What? I never said it was a mortgage. You said, and I quote, I'm going to lose the house if I can't make the mortgage payment. I have the texts, Mom. All of them. I started reading. Rachel, the bank called again about the mortgage. Honey, I'm 3 months behind on the mortgage. Each quote made Mom's face paler. Jennifer sank onto the couch. Mom, is this true? It's not what it sounds like. It's exactly what it sounds like. You lied. You manipulated me. And then you humiliated my son. The room fell silent. Even Jennifer didn't defend her this time. I think, Mark said quietly, that you need to apologize. To Dylan. A real apology. Mom's face went hard. I will not be told what to do in my own home. Then you'll never see your grandson again, I said. Apologize, get into therapy, and we can maybe rebuild something. Or don't and we're done. You can't do that. He's my son. My job is to protect him. Even from you. What do you think she did? That's what happened next. I honestly didn't see it coming. Mom walked over to the mantel, picked up a framed photo of Dylan. Looked at it for a long moment. When she turned back around, there were tears in her eyes. Real tears this time. I don't know how to be different, she whispered. And just like that, the anger shifted into something sadder. Mom, Jennifer said softly. When was the last time you were actually happy? Mom didn't answer. Just stood there holding Dylan's picture, tears running down her face. I took a step forward. You need help. Professional help. Because whatever this is, this need to control and manipulate, it's destroying your relationships with everyone who loves you. Your father always said I was difficult, she said quietly. He tried to get me to see someone. I refused. You can't handle this alone, I said gently. Family is supposed to help. But Mom, it can't be one-sided. She set the photo down. Looked at me. Really looked at me. I'm sorry, she said. Not the kind of sorry where I make excuses. I'm sorry I hurt Dylan. I'm sorry I lied to you. I'm sorry for so many things. Jennifer made a small sound. I think she was crying too. And I'm sorry, Mom continued, turning to Jennifer, that I made you choose sides. That I made you feel like you couldn't have your own life. Nobody moved. This moment felt fragile. What do we do now? Mom asked, her voice small. Now, I said, you call a therapist. You write Dylan a letter apologizing. I'll read it first. And you start being honest about everything. And if I do that, then we take it one day at a time. No promises, Mom. But we try. She nodded. Hey, I can do that. There's one more thing, I said. That trust fund money? I'm still redirecting it. But once it matures, once we're stable, maybe we can talk about helping you with actual expenses. Real ones. With receipts and honesty. I understand, Mom said. That's fair. Jennifer walked over and hugged Mom. And my mother, who'd seemed so cold yesterday, collapsed into her daughter's arms and sobbed. As we left, I texted Aunt Linda. Better than expected. She's going to try. She replied, good. But Rachel, keep those boundaries firm. Hope for the best, but protect yourself. That night, tucking Dylan into bed, he asked, is Grandma going to say sorry? She's working on it, baby. Sometimes grown-ups need time to learn how to be better. Like when I had to learn not to hit when I was little? I smiled. Exactly like that. I hope she learns fast. I miss her pot roast. Over the next few weeks, things slowly changed. Mom sent Dylan a thoughtful 2-page letter. She started therapy. She called once a week just to talk, never asking for money. Jennifer and I started having coffee every Saturday. Turns out she'd been carrying her own guilt from Mom's pressure. Me. I learned that standing up for yourself doesn't make you cruel. It makes you strong. That protecting your child is always the right choice. Was it perfect? No. Did Mom slip sometimes? Absolutely. But she was trying. Really trying. And 6 months later, at a family dinner at our house, Dylan sat next to his grandmother. When he reached for the potatoes, she helped him serve himself. No chair pulling. No humiliation. Just a grandmother learning to love her grandson the way he deserved. So that's my story. Did I handle everything perfectly? Probably not. Did I do the right thing? I believe I did. What do you think? Would you have given your mother a second chance? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you like this story, hit that like button. If something resonated with you or if you disagree with my choices, please share your opinion. Thank you for listening. Sometimes the hardest thing we can do is set boundaries with the people we love. But sometimes it's also the most important.
These are some funny beauty fails that prove beauty. Prune. You must suffer to be beautiful.
Or maybe you're just born with it, in which case just
I woke up like this.
you're a shark puppet, okay?
Excuses. You're ugly.
I got me a BBL off Amazon, and you know, just for giggies, like just for gigs or whatever. It's looking like an egg. It's very much vacuum packed and sealed, so we're gonna open her up. She is from China, beautiful, gorgeous, foreign, exotic, thick queen. Okay, so, okay, so it comes with two little pads, little pooty pads, and then it comes with some shorts. So we're gonna try her on. Hold on.
Wait!
I found
Whoa.
you, Miss New Booty.
Whoa.
Get it together, bring it back to me. What the? God knew I would just be way too powerful. Who is? What the hell is that? What the? You're freaking kidding me. I would just be too powerful. I would just be. What?
Oh, wow.
Are you out here freaking looking like a shelf? Oh, man.
Oh, that is
God would put me like this,
tempting.
it just would have been too much. It just would have been too much. What the? Look like a donkey. Looking like a donkey. I can knock people out with this thing, okay? What the hell? I would be way more obnoxious than I am now if I had all of this.
Nobody
okay?
could talk to me if I had that.
God just knew what he was. Shut the. Shut up! I just wouldn't know how to act. I simply would not know how to act, okay? And I fully believe that my creator knew what he was doing. He had a humble mind somehow, because